How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey kids, it's your old pal ML Elric. Mark is still sick and we can't get Shawn out of the bathroom. So we're going to play an archival episode. This is a classic, an instant classic from October when the Tigers were on their amazing playoff run, and it features Andy Dirks, the voice of the Tigers, and our old friend, actually not that old, Erika Erickson. So give it a listen. Remember, this is an old episode, so some of the things you'll hear, some of the offers aren't still good, but Luke Nowacki is still a great guy to talk to about your financial needs, and the Cajun Cafe is always a great place for a good time. We'll be back next week. And of course, on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, we'll be at the Cajun Cafe recording our episode. Please come out and join us. In the meantime, be a soulmate, support the show, and Shawn, wash your hands.
On the Disney Sunday movie, he was a has-been who found hope.
All you have to do is believe.
ML Elric.
Dreams can come true in Tiger Town.
You asked interrogative questions
around my face. It's gone.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Come on.
That is not paid for by them. That is paid for by the people of Detroit.
You might be qualified, ML.
I'm not qualified for this job.
Let me tell you something. You want to go right now? Okay? You want to go right now?
Hey, kids, it's your old pal, ML Elric. And you know what? Whoever thought they'd say this? Carlos Monarrez was right.
Oh, God.
The Tigers made the playoffs. And I wish that we could do some deep research and document all the sports writers who are like, this team's terrible. They got nothing. It's over. You know, what a disaster. Because your Tigers, it's Tuesday, are poised to play tomorrow with home field advantage in the ALCS.
It's gonna be crazy.
Right? Yeah, it's
gonna
nuts.
be crazy in Detroit.
So Erika Erickson is here. And that's something to be excited about. Mark Fellhauer is...
No one's excited about it.
I'm excited, Mark.
No, you're not. Don't lie.
But our special guest is Andy Dirks, who's played on some great Tiger teams. He's at the ballpark now.
What's up?
But he's a little further from home plate than he'd probably like to be right now. But he's in there. He's part of the game. He's part of the scene. And Andy, man, did you see this coming? You watch these guys a lot.
Did any of us see the ninth inning coming? No.
Oh, the ninth inning?
Who could ever see that coming?
The whole run, yeah.
Oh, my God. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I assume you're talking about the whole series.
It's funny you say that, Erika, because, Andy, you did not see the Kerry Carpenter thing.
I couldn't stop watching. I can't stop watching that video.
I don't think you saw it coming or happen.
I did. I saw it coming because in the last month and a half, I've seen everything out of this team. Like in the last month and a half.
They're insane.
Month and a half ago, pre-trade deadline, I'm a realist. I'm an optimist, but I'm also a realist. There's nobody that had a sane bone in their body that thought the Tigers were going to make the playoffs. I know there's a few guys that were like, yo, they're going to make it. There's always those few, token fans that are going to have to say that, writer. But you forget about that if they don't make it. But if they do make it, there's like one guy out there that looks like a genius when in fact he said 500 million things that are wrong. I was actually like in the middle of an interview. I get a call at 4:33. Kerry Carpenter's getting ready to walk up. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. My buddy Lomas Brown was like, hey, can we get you on a spot? I'm like, yeah, sure. I didn't even think about the time. I thought the game would be over. I'm on the phone. Like, I got my kids running around the living room looking through the door from my garage into my house to the screen. And they're like, and now we have Andy Dirks. Whack. I'm like, go. Let's go. Spot.
God, Carps has been so good, and he has gone through something this year that I think you went through too, which was you're only allowed to face right-handed hitters. You can't face a left-handed hitter. Are you surprised that Hinch has just so solidly stuck to that and never gave him chances?
Well, he's had about 40 at-bats against lefties, I think. He hit a home run against a lefty. It's been a minute. But it comes down more to AJ's philosophy as a whole for the team. I face lefties off and on. Depend on the lefty, depend on the day, depend on situation, what personnel look like. But definitely there's right-handed hitters who absolutely smash left-handed pitching. Justin Henry Malloy has proved he can handle left-handed pitching regularly, has great at-bats against lefties. And what you're looking for, and this is where the Tigers offense, it had its woes, like severe woes throughout the season. What you're looking for is quality at-bats 1 to 9. How many can we string together? And a quality at-bat might even be how many pitches they saw in the at-bat, because the objective is putting pressure on the opposing pitcher and on the opposing defense as regularly as possible, right? So once the lineup kind of got healthy, if you got a guy that hits 260 and his on-base percentage is 340 against left-handed pitching versus a guy that's hitting 0.96 with 180 on base percentage, you're going to go with the more consistent at bats for the regular game.
Okay.
That's what you want, because that's going to put more pressure on the defense. More things can happen, more ways to score runs. And AJ's, where he's been really good, is he's taking guys that maybe have a few holes in their game. Dave Dombrowski, a long time ago, he said this, and it stuck with me. There's no such thing as a perfect player. Everybody has their deficiencies. Even like Miggy's not going to be, steal you 50 bags, right? One of the best hitters of all time, played pretty good first base, played a little third base, but he still has deficiencies in his game. AJ says, what are these guys good at? Let me put them in positions where they can succeed and see if I can manage a game and he's already thought out first inning through 9 to give them the most chances to have spots of success for their ability level, for their skill set. And he's mastering that, and he's got everybody to buy into it, which is a whole nother thing, because you're talking about professional athletes. I mean, there's a little ego in a pro athlete.
Sure. And when you talk about the run that the Tigers did, a lot of people love to point to Javi Baez, and it's like, oh, we get rid of that guy and that albatross, and we get Sweeney in here, and boy, that's the switch that did it. It sounds like an overstatement. Is that an overstatement, or was there stuff that we don't see in the locker room that's like, okay, yeah, now that kind of unifies us all as these young guys that aren't making,
people get visibly angry when they see people wearing uniforms with certain
Baez?
names. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, we all know the contract and the performance, so yeah.
I mean, I'm like, but still, let's calm down a little bit.
I had people coming up to me and saying, why don't you cut Windsor and make room for Erickson? She just hits right-handers really well. That's why she's on the show today. But
do we overstate the whole getting rid of Baez helped turn this team around?
I think there was a lot of factors. That was one of them, though, for sure. I mean, Javi's performance was not up to the level that it was before he signed the contract. Like, that's pretty blatant to see, right? And we talk about, quality at bats up and down the order. What ended up happening was his lack of adjustments were making a void in that spot. And he did hit a pretty big home run right before he went on the DL that you'll remember, that was like, nasty slider down and away, which has kind of been his kryptonite. But when you put up guy in the order, when Trey Sweeney comes in, and now Trey Sweeney's putting together a little bit better at bats in that spot, it lengthens out the lineup. It puts more pressure on the opposing pitcher. It puts more pressure on the opposing defense. And the more spots like that you have, the better off you're going to be. You got to remember, Kerry Carpenter was hurt for a while. Mm-hmm. He came back in the lineup. Riley Green was hurt for a while. He came back in the lineup. Yeah. Colt Keith was not the same old Colt Keith that we saw the first half of the season versus the second half of the season. That lengthened out the lineup. Justin Henry Malloy put together some good at-bats. That lengthened out the lineup. Andy Ibanez against lefties. That helps lengthen out the lineup. So you can start seeing, like, there was more than just that spot that we needed to produce. What then happened is, now that took some pressure off the likes of, like, Spencer Torkelson, who now could just go out and just try to have some normal at-bats.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Well, he's had a little scuffles in the postseason, but hey, postseason's tough, man.
Well, all he has to do is get a hold of one, because he smashes it. I mean, when that ball leaves the park, you feel sorry for whoever tries to catch it in the stands. It's going to go right through them. But, I wasn't paying as close attention late in the season to what Hinch was doing, but if I'd thought about it, I would have been able to predict this was going to happen, and I'll tell you why. As the captain of the Free Press co-ed non-competitive softball team at Belle Isle, I do exactly what Andy's talking about. I try and put the players in a position to succeed. and I try and make sure that we lengthen the at-bats. Where Andy looks like he's got a call. Andy, do you need to take that call? You're not. He's not.
Go ahead. Finish up. I got you. What was that?
Looks like Andy's closing a real estate deal here. He just said, "Whatever you want to offer me, I'll take it. I don't care. We got a motivated seller."
You and AJ are pretty similar with your thinking about
we both use our initials.
Slow pitch softball, big league baseball. It's basically the same thing.
Hey, this isn't slow pitch softball, Andy. This is a mat league. It's co-ed, and there's some challenges there. I think people need to understand that. You just really have to control that lineup.
So when you're controlling your lineup and you're going left and right matchups, like when Tony's sitting down there on the bench, a little hungover and not feeling so hot, do you play that into a factor too, or no?
Usually what I try and do is make sure the guys from public radio get there late. That has helped us. Not a lot of hackers there.
I love that Andy's feeding into this.
I know.
Like it's a legitimate thing.
Andy and I are talking baseball, folks. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Kids had a long day. Guy just had a new baby. Like there's different things you have to take into account. AJ doesn't even have to.
Yeah,
your job's harder than AJ's.
Somebody got a new vape pen. These are things that you don't see that at the major league level. Managing at this level is a real challenge. Plus, I have to go out there and perform on the field as well. So this is last guy who did it as well as I did was Pete Rose. What happened to him? Never mind. Forget.
Threw yourself under the bus, didn't you?
Yeah. Boy, oh boy. You keep talking, you end up getting yourself in trouble. So somebody save Erika. Where are you? You got to save me.
Oh my gosh!
Save me from myself.
Oh my gosh!
I'm sending in the right-hander. Although she's having some problems with her wing here. She was telling us.
What I really liked, I saw a tweet, and I can't remember who tweeted it out, but they were comparing this team to the kids in the Sandlot, just having fun and playing, and I thought that really kind of.
Although to that point, I'm getting sick of talking about how they're all naive. They have this naivete.
No, I don't think they're naive. I just think they're.
No, I know, but that's been kind of a narrative about this team is they don't even know the pressure situation. Which I don't buy into that. I don't think
they. I don't either. I don't think they don't know. I just think they are going out there and they're just giving it their all.
Well, it's kind of house money. Yeah. Everybody gave up on them, right?
You know what? They're like, we have nothing to lose at this point. Yeah. We're going out there and they're giving it their all every time.
What do you see, Andy, as a difference between how this team is playing and dealing with each other versus, say, the 2012 team that you were on that made it to the World Series or some of those playoff teams that you were on? Because those had superstars on those teams.
Yeah.
Besides yourself.
Well, hey, Andy almost won the Gold Glove, so let's not sell him
Andy
short.
Thinks about that too, about what we were just talking about, also.
Yeah. So first, let's go with 2012 team or those 2011 through 14 teams. Expectation was to win the World Series. Mm-hmm. There was no other expectation. It wasn't like, hey, let's be 500.
No pressure.
Let's try to win the division. It's like, no, win the division, win the league championship, and win a World Series, which means. Basically, if you don't win the last game of the season, you're a failure.
Oh, God.
And that's just the way it was. And there's nothing wrong with that because we had the team to do it. Like on paper, our teams were legit, right? This team was like post rebuild. I hate that word, by the way. Air quotes on that.
We're still in a rebuild, yeah.
But this team, it was let's become a winning baseball club. That means be over the 500 mark would have been successful. That was like a success, would have been a success for this team. Scott Harris said, We're going to get very youthful. We're going to get youthful. We're going to get more athletic. We're going to get a core group of guys together. And that's what they did. They went out and with the plans at the beginning of the season, you remember there was guys like Carson Kelly on the team earlier. Those guys were kind of pieces put in place to then why other guys were developing to be able to bring up like Dylan Dingler, for instance, right? Winslow Perez, these guys who have come up, they had pieces put into place that then they could not get rid of, but move on to a different location in that trade deadline time frame, which actually worked out really well because some of those guys performed good enough to be able to have them as pieces to then go out and get more youthful talent. And we are very young and we're very athletic. This is a completely different looking team than like our 2012 team where we had some boppers. We didn't steal a lot of bags. We ran the bases good, but these guys are even more aggressive on the bases than we were. pitching wise, we were very, very starter heavy.
Yeah.
We had some decent guys out of the bullpen for sure, but we were very like big horses up front. You think of Scherzer, you think of Verlander, you think of Doug Fister, you think of Rick Porcello, David Price, like Anibal Sanchez. Like these are horses that are going to go out and throw 8 innings, and then we got a setup guy in Joaquin Benoit and Papa Grande as a closer.
Yeah.
And, Phil Koch, and we had other guys. Al Albuquerque pitched good out of the bullpen, whereas this team's more like, we got a horse.
Yep.
His name is Tarek Skubal. He's a very good horse.
Yep. And he had
Jay
a great.
Carter said he's the showest of show ponies.
He had a great meme yesterday too. After he closed out that 1 inning and just told the whole Cleveland, the whole Guardian Stadium to shut the f up.
Yeah, and then his mom tweeted. His mom tweeted at him.
I would just. I don't know how
she middle named him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in trouble.
Oh, really?
That's
For
trouble.
swearing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Twitter, by the way, Andy, you got a great Twitter, too. It's at Andy Dirks 12. I like your little breakdowns. And, Carp's hit was big, but I think the bow and arrow shot was really what put the Tigers over the edge. Didn't you do a lucky bow and arrow shot yesterday?
Yeah, we did, man. Sometimes, baseball, we're not superstitious in baseball, but there are things where you need to change the mojo up a little bit.
Yeah.
If it's going in a direction that you're not liking, let's change something, Baseball player, we're just not insane. Andy's like doing the same thing, expecting the same result. No, we mix it up.
Well, to that
This is
point,
another technique I use at Belle Isle, by the way, if you guys are at home looking for managing tips.
To that
I want
point,
to talk to a real professional.
It really works, yeah.
I want to go back to the Carp's home run. I'm sure you've watched it a million times over. But he had faced 2 sliders by Clase right before then. He throws a third one. That was supposed to be, almost in the dirt. It seemed like where the catcher was putting his mitt. What is he looking for there? What is Carpenter? Is he just swinging at a spot, or what do you think he was looking for? Because he found it.
Yeah,
I just want to get into his
throwing
head.
100 mile an hour cutters. He fouled a pitch off. He fouled a cutter off. It's like
outside.
99 or 100 before he started throwing all those sliders, and apparently it looked like he was on it, right? Mm-hmm. Which, in hindsight, it's tough to tell sometimes, but they thought he was on the fastball. So that's why they kept pumping the slider. They were trying to get it what they call back foot, which is down and into a lefty. You swing over it. That's a strikeout pitch for a righty to a lefty. Because you can foul off the heater, a little bit more regularly, but to go for the strikeout, because they want a strikeout, because any ball put into play there has a potential to score that run at third.
Yep.
So they're trying to not let him put the ball in play. They're going for the strikeout. So if they just go heater, they either go heater up out of the zone, try to get him to chase, or throw that slider down and in. He tried to go with the slider down and in. He kept missing the spot.
Yeah.
And then eventually he missed the spot, and Kerry was on it. And Kerry knows he's either going heater up or slider down. Like, that's his options. So Kerry's probably like, I'm not swinging at it if it's up. If it starts middle, it's going to be the slider, right?
Yeah.
So it starts middle. He sees the slider. Boom. It hangs a little bit. Still, it was a great piece of hitting.
That's so hard.
Is there
any
hard?
I can't remember the last moment like that. So I honestly think that's one of I can't. That's one of my favorite in history, to be completely honest.
It's the home run in Tigers history, with Gibby's World Series one right behind it.
Honestly, it just was so magical. I got chills, and you were on the phone going go go go. It's just, and I keep watching it.
Well, the thing with Gibby's home run, and I don't want to take anything away from Gibby, the Tigers were in control in that series. Now, you want to win when you can. Sure. And with Maglio, we were the favorites. This home run, we're on the road. You go down 2 games in Cleveland.
Scored a run.
It's over.
There was nothing.
A run.
This changed the series. And it reminds me, and Andy, I don't know if you're on this team or not.
Completely flipped the script.
When Verlander won that game in Yankee Stadium and turned the whole series around for the Tigers, that may have been before you were on the squad, but it was just a clutch performance. And I don't know how you hit 100-mile-an-hour fastball unless you are kind of.
You don't, ML?
You have a plan. Well, I mean,
with your softball.
Well, it is.
I thought maybe you taught them guys how to hit a hundo.
With the softball.
No. I misspoke. I meant a 10-mile-an-hour pitch. That's what we have.
No, you got to hit 100. You got to be cheating to 100.
Yeah,
there's no way.
You're guessing,
you
right?
can hit 100 unless you're like geared up, ready. You get ready a little sooner. You kind of sell out for 100.
Yeah.
Which exposes you to breaking pitches.
Or change-ups, right? You end up looking like a clown swinging at air.
It's just so you can tell your guys in your men's league,
We have women. We have women too.
95.
Yeah.
When you see something over 95, that's when you have to start cheating for the heater. So I know a lot of guys in your league they're throwing 90 over 95. So that's when you got to start cheating for the heater. Slugging percentages go way down on pitches over 96.
So I'm going to have to tell Emily and Darcy they're going to need a mask behind the plate then, because if it's coming in that fast, I'm afraid they may get. I mean, this is our political editor and one of our other reporters. I don't know if they're ready for that kind of smoke.
They can handle it.
It's a pro tip from Andy Dirks, folks.
68-mile-an-hour poo balls ain't going to hurt nobody.
We're still working on the EFIS pitch, Andy.
One other play from yesterday, which was not as monumental now as we thought it might have been at the time, was Kwan's catch or no catch. And I got to tell you, I've watched every angle that's
stared at
available,
it and slowed it down.
and I have flip-flopped. Like, that's not a catch. And then that's a hit. That hit the ground. It depends on the angle. I just want to know what your take was on that.
My take goes like this. In any game, postseason, regular season, you're going to have things that go your way. You're going to have things that don't. Like, that's just the way it is. One play is never going to dictate the outcome of an entire series. It might look that way in a moment, but there's so many other plays, so many, hey, we missed fastballs. We should have hit this guy. We should have done this. You can always go back and do that. The good teams, the teams that win regularly and often, are the teams that don't let that stuff affect them. So it doesn't matter if that's called a catch or it's not. You got to go to the next play, to the next pitch. That's what winning teams, winning organizations do. And that's what the Tigers have done. AJ preaches that. You see AJ, he's pretty cool, calm, and collected for the most part. And these guys, he doesn't let them buy into that mindset of like, well, it's the umpire's fault.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the umpire's fault. There's bad calls on both sides. That was such a play that's like, that could have went either way.
It was so close, even when I was slowing it down.
Out on the field.
Both.
Yeah.
So if they ruled it out on the field, now you have to show me definitive proof of why it's safe. And of course, we wanted it to be safe. But if that doesn't transpire, Kerry Carpenter does not come up in that spot.
It's true. Yeah.
To do something that we'll all remember forever.
Yeah. Every pitch is not done in a vacuum. I mean, it depends on what was done before and every play before that. It's just nice. Right. It's just nice to know that, and the NFL is not the only place where nobody knows what a catch is anymore. And then trying to look at it objectively, it's like, you know what? The guy puts forth that good of effort and got the ball. I'll just give him the catch, right?
Yeah,
It's just an amazing play.
I mean, it was an amazing play, and that's what we want to see in playoff baseball. We're watching the best in the world do amazing things, because then you turn around and Parker Meadows jumps up in his 6'5" frame.
God, he's
jumps
good.
up to 10 feet up on the big wall and catches a ball that I don't think maybe one other or two other center fielders in the league catch that ball.
He's been doing it so much lately and chasing these balls down where it's like, okay, that's just Meadows. That's just our center fielder. He's just that good. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's just a normal play.
Isn't that crazy that some of these things are just becoming normal?
Isn't that why we like sports?
It is.
They make the impossible
it is.
pedestrian.
It's so fun. It's just fun
having
to watch.
having the short memory. Oh boy, I feel kind of bad bringing this up, but having a short memory and get on to the next play. I mean, you had a pretty infamous play, the Beltre ball that went off. That right? Was it Beltre? Didn't you have a ball go off your glove in a playoff game?
Oh, in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. And I remember that. Thanks for bringing that up. That brings a lot of good memories.
I'm sorry, but I mean, what is your mentality?
I'll run you through that play.
Yeah.
So I think Ryan Perry came into the game. I think it was tied, something like that. Beltre hits a low line drive off the end of the bat, and I'm playing right field, and it's kind of between me and Jackson. And in big league parks in Texas and Comerica, and there's a couple others, the lights on those balls that are low in the gap, the ball goes in the lights for a little bit. So the ball's kind of in the lights, no big deal. I'm tracking it. I run over to the ball, and AJ is closer to me than he normally would be. I think his adrenaline was spiked. He was trying to make a play too. And at the last moment, I got a little bit of an alligator arm. Instead of reaching out, my hand just kind of come in, and it tipped off the end of my glove, ended up loading the bases, and I think Nelson Cruz hit the grand slam that ended
Nelson
up losing
Cruz.
the game.
Oh God,
he was a Tiger killer.
But no error on that play. I just want to point that out.
That should have been. I would have taken an air for it.
Okay.
I was a solid outfielder. and that's like, was it the moment, or was it just over the course of 170 some games, there's a few plays that happen. It just happened to have been in a bad moment.
Yeah.
Right.
And where the ball's positioned. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was like, that's going to happen. There's going to be plays that you should make that you wish you would have made that you didn't. But as the accumulation of the series, we look at the bigger picture, and it's like, you have to make as many good plays as possible, but sometimes you don't make the play. But what happens is you didn't make that play that time. The next time you get that same spot, you're going to make the play. I mean, and what's fun about baseball is you can make the play 4,863 times in a row and not make it once, and you're a bum.
Yeah.
Talk to Bill Buckner.
Buckner, yeah.
I mean, the guy should be in the Hall of Fame for everything he did on the field, and he can't get a cup of coffee in Boston because of one bad play. And it should, they still should have rallied and won the series.
Well, it ruined him. He had to move away, and it took him years until he finally did the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode, and now that's it's kind of behind him now.
And he was a totally righteous dude about that for years, but after a while, he said enough. But
I just can't even imagine, after everything's just wiped away because of...
But to Andy's point, they had a chance to win the next day. And they didn't win. They got clobbered.
And so did the Sox. Yeah. You have to pick yourself up. It can't come when you play 162 games and get in the playoffs. It can't come down to one play. Now, Andy, I will tell you this. I don't know when you're not selling real estate and doing ball games if you have some time to join us on Wednesday nights. I've never had two outfielders.
Oh my! Did you just invite him to your?
I've never had two outfielders get close to the same ball. I have a problem where I can't get one outfielder close to a ball. So, if you're interested, I can guarantee you no one will jump your lane. It's guaranteed.
And he's going to bat behind you, right? So you see good pitches? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I got to see where he works in the lineup. I got to put him in a place to succeed.
You'll have Andy bat fifth.
If I can put
Dirks, you're in the 9 hole.
If I can put Andy in there,
I would buy a ticket
left
for
out.
this.
Yeah, if I can put Andy in there so Dana gets some better pitches, that's where I'm going to put Andy. And I'll talk to him before the game. I'll call him into the. I think we probably have a porta-john. We don't really have an office, but we'll have a talk about that so he knows. I would never show him up. But if he's in the bottom of the lineup, there's a reason for that. And you can know that. Just know that.
Yeah, I would trust your judgment.
Well, that's a first mistake,
Really?
but I appreciate it.
You would.
Well, since I brought up a bad memory with that ball going off the glove, I was talking to you right before we went on, and you don't seem to remember many of your 24 home runs in the major leagues. You don't even remember your last home run, which kind of surprises me. But I'll tell you what it was, and then it might come back to you. And and it's interesting to me because I believe it tied the game, or helped tie the game to push into extra innings. You were playing the White Sox. Nate Jones is on the mound, and two guys were on base, and you pinch hit. Do you remember it now?
I remember that one now.
Okay.
Yep. He threw a slider, and I hit it a billion miles.
Yeah.
A billion.
Yep. And you guys won in extra innings. But what I thought was interesting about it, you're a pinch hitter. And as much as this Tiger team in 2024 uses pinch hitters, I mean, you have to be prepared. You take swings in the batting cages underneath the stands. You have to be ready. So the Tigers they got to be aware of, my number's going to be called coming up here with the pitching change.
Yeah, and like Michael Bedard and the hitting coaches, they do a really, really good job with those Tigers hitters, getting them prepared for who they might face. So if you're not playing on a day, you're always prepared to come in at some point, maybe defensive replacement, maybe pinch hitting, depending on how the game goes. But when you pinch hit, you kind of have an idea of who's in their bullpen, who they've used, who their leverage guys are, who you might face. Me being a lefty, I would most likely face a righty if they came to the game. So I would know, hey, Jones is down there. He's got a fastball. He's got a slider. He's a stock righty. He's a this. He's a that. So when you come into the game, I want to know, does the guy throw a lot of strikes? Is he wild? What's his velo? What's his best secondary pitch? Because mostly guys out of the bullpen, they'll have one secondary pitch that's wipeout. And can they throw their fastball for a strike? Because I do not want to get into too many 2-strike counts with leverage guys in the back end of the bullpen as a pinch hitter. Because they just got wipeout stuff. So pinch hitting, you're aggressive. A lot of times you're going to swing at one of the first 2 pitches. And that you might foul it off or you might hit it, but it kind of gets you in rhythm and it gets you into the at bat a little bit. So if you're coming in and pinch hitting, always be aggressive. Now, if a guy sprays it, sometimes they're M&M guys is what we call them, miss or middle. They're either out of the zone or middle. That's my favorite guy because you can just trust that he's going to throw this thing way out of the zone. It's an automatic take, or it's going to be a pitch I can really handle. And then be aggressive to the ball. You go down in the tunnel. There's cages down in the tunnel. You run a little bit. There's coach down there, throw you front flips. You can set up a machine. If you want to, you set the machine up, make it throw 98 miles an hour if you want, just to see like something hard coming in. And then, like we talked about before, get out there, put the hay in the barn and forget about it. Like get out there, get after it, man, and compete. And sometimes it works out really well. Sometimes it doesn't. And that's baseball. That's what's fun about this game. You have to have some serious resilience and mental fortitude, because sometimes you're going to be the guy in the big moment that gets it done, and sometimes you're not.
How much credit do you give to the hitting coaches that they have on the staff now? Because it seems like in the past we've had coaches, for whatever reason, players couldn't perform or couldn't improve. Whereas you mentioned Carson Kelly, one of the reasons why he was a trading piece at the deadline was they brought him in and they built him up. I mean, he started to hit the ball better, and I think he was in trouble when we signed him last year, and by this year, he was somebody we probably were sorry to see go. How much of that is on the coaches, and how much of it is on the player?
It's probably a combo. It's more on the player.
Yeah.
But these hitting coaches have done an outstanding job. A lot of young talent, and like Carson Kelly had some injuries that kind of slowed him down. This year he was healthy. That helps. But also just putting guys in positions of success. A hitting coach's job is not glamorous at all. Like when the team goes out and really performs, they get no credit. The manager gets the credit, right? Mm-hmm. And when the team struggles, guess what? Offensively, guess who gets dogs?
Right.
The hitting coach.
Yeah.
Every game, maybe the team scores 8 runs one game. There's still a guy or two on the team that went over.
Yeah.
That's still struggling. Who do they get to work with tomorrow? The guy who went 4 for 4 and hit the grand slam to win the game, or the guy who went 0 for 5 with 4 punchies? Who are they? Who's the manager's reporting down? Hey, what's wrong with this guy? What's up with this guy? Yeah, I know you're huge success stories over here, but they're already going. Let's get these guys up to speed, right? So they're the guys that are there, at 3 o'clock on a 6 o'clock game, throwing the front flips, going through video. What's going to get this guy? What's going to make it click? It's not always mechanical. It's like usually it's way less mechanical than it is mental at that level. I mean, a guy's swing is kind of what it is. You can tweak a few things mid-season, but the off-season is the only time you can really refine a swing path. You can't be trying to think about hitting a 98-mile-an-hour fastball and where are my hands at and my path needs to be here. It's just reaction, see ball, hit ball. So what they do is they'll go down in the tunnel, and I call them Band-Aids. You got to find – through the course of a season, you got to find something in your brain to think about that is very simple and easy, that is done before you step into the box. So it could be your mental approach. Where am I trying to hit the baseball is number one. Look, thumbs up for Andy. Where am I trying to hit the baseball? That is the biggest thing that most hitters are stupid to. Like, where you try to hit the baseball will take care of a lot of the physical elements of the swing. So if I let the ball travel, I see it deeper. I'm trying to hit the ball as a left-handed hitter. Like if I was out in front, I'm just going to try to hit it over the third baseman's head. Like left on left, you gotta let the ball travel because you're exposed to the slider more. And what the hitting coach's job is to figure out what that little thing might be to get him through his next 25 at-bats. And then he might be really hot for 20 at-bats, and then he cools off. And then he's cold for 10 at-bats. Then he's okay for 35 at-bats. And then he's really hot for 50 at-bats, but then he's super cold for 50 at-bats. And what you're trying to do is find that little tweak. So
kind of that sweet spot and figure out, like, gosh,
Band-Aids.
There's so much.
There's no like ultimate fix. It's like anybody that's ever played the game of golf can relate to a hitter.
Well, I don't know.
I was just thinking, I'm like, this reminds me of golf so much.
I don't know if Torque fans want to hear this, though.
Well, and he's made adjustments.
He's made a lot of adjustments, yeah.
It's just got to be. It's got to be hard as a pro. You trust what got you there.
Yeah.
You listen to this coach. Maybe it doesn't make sense to you. You try it. It doesn't work, and you're thinking, "Well, I listen to this guy. Now I'm going to lose my spot." When do you say I got to go with what I know? Or I'm going to put my faith in this person because, we talk about pressure a little earlier in the show. every one of these players has been under tremendous pressure, probably from the time they're about 6, because you guys are all competing for so few jobs, for so few spots. And the notion that baseball players are not ready to perform under pressure, that is your life. You don't perform under pressure, you're not on the squad, friend. So don't worry about dialing up for the World Series. If you can't do it in spring training, you don't come to Detroit. You don't come to Detroit, forget about it. I mean, it's what you guys go through. And all of us, again, I understand as a manager and as a player coach, but everybody out there eating that $8 hot dog and spilling a beer on themselves is like, you know what I would do? I know what you would do. You probably go crap your pants. So why don't you? And let the rest of us enjoy the game.
The person watching
but
can
it's
always
what you sign up for.
Yeah.
Like, you have to have a certain mindset to be a professional athlete at the highest level. You have to love the challenge. Every professional athlete, what separates the guys, it's not always physicality. It's that thing in between these two ears. It's like, what is your belief in yourself? You have to figure that out first. This Tigers team, they believe in themselves. They believe in the unit. Mm-hmm. They believe that they can do great things. Like, that's the foundation. Step 1, they have to believe that they're big leaguers. Step 2 is, how do you go out and compete every day? Day by day by day.
Grind.
I mean, it is. People say, "Oh, it's a grind." Well, it's not a grind. If I could go out and play baseball every day of my life, I mean, there's some days where you're like, the last thing I want to do is put on this clown outfit and go trample around and try to hit that little baseball and get booed because I'm not playing well right now, right? Yeah. But you have to learn to get between the lines. You clear it. You go out and you play the game, man.
Well,
I think the biggest piece for the young guys is when they realize that they belong in the show. Like, you have to get to a point where you realize you belong in the show. Everybody has it that stays. The guys who kind of are up and down, they might try to trick themselves, but you have to earn that belief. You can't manifest that. You can't fake it till you make it.
I think I think you kind of nailed it then. We were talking about what it is it with them, with this team, and I think that's what it is.
Well, they bought in too, right? I mean, the pitching chaos is so different, and I love that it's so disruptive and different the way Hinch is doing it. But you have to have the whole pitching staff go, yeah, I might start a game. I might only pitch 1 inning. I might pitch 2. And they all appear to have bought in that. Plus, like Andy hit on very subtly earlier, they're all healthy now, and they hadn't been healthy.
They're healthy. Yeah, I mean, they're young, they're healthy.
It's huge. It's been a fun ride, man.
It really has.
It's great. And so we'll be watching you Wednesday when the boys take the field about 3:08. What are you doing when you're not calling games? How can people get a hold of you?
Well, I am usually just sitting here waiting on you guys to do a show.
That's it.
You guys, you mean Elric.
I mean, I'm not going to say y'all were on island time today. I ain't going to call you out like that. No,
but you did. I'm good.
I sell a little real estate. I got 4 kids. My wife. I'm a big family guy. My kids are amazing.
Are you taking listings?
9 and under.
Can people hire you to buy or sell a home for them? If they can, where do they go?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You just hit me up on social. You can see me on Instagram, The Real Andy Dirks. I don't know why I did that one. Twitter's like Andy Dirks 12. I started doing a TikTok.
Oh, wow. You got to get some dancing on there.
I'm up with the times.
Damn.
I'm not like you guys. I'm up with the times.
And I love the broadcast that you do with Benetti and you needle him. You needle him in a certain way, which I think he needs. I don't know why I think he needs it, but I think he needs it.
That's good stuff.
It's like most people get intimidated by Benetti. I'm like, Benetti, you're the least intimidating guy I've ever seen in my life.
He's so good. I've been watching him do college football, and I'm kind of blown away. It's like, oh my God, how can you? Because he's so just smooth and quick.
Oh yeah, he is legit, man.
Yeah,
he's got it figured out, and I think the way his mind works is like an athlete's. And there's very few guys that didn't play the game at a very high level that understand the pace of the game like he does. Plus, he's got the elements of that make a great broadcaster.
Oh, definitely.
Well, we hope you guys will be calling games all the way up to and through November. Andy Dirks, former Tiger, great player, great broadcaster, great guest, and a man with infinite patience. So, Andy, we appreciate it. And, if anything you heard today you think will help AJ, feel free to pass it along compliments.
I will, man. I'm going to give him all the tips you gave me. What were they again? Oh, yeah.
He's gonna remember. Andy's going to be like, you're not going to believe this.
Groundbreaking.
I thought you were taking notes. It's all right. Well, maybe Andy's moving down in the lineup even further.
Yeah, there it is. There's his notepad.
I guess Kate's going to be.
I would pay to see this.
Kate's going to be in the double hole. So it didn't sound good at all. No, that didn't sound good.
Oh,
I hope you're not listening, Kate. Sorry about that. I hope your parents aren't listening. Anyways, Andy Dirks.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you stay in there for one pitch too long, and then it changes the whole game. So.
Then he keeps going.
All right.
Appreciate it, Andy.
Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
God, he's good, man.
Yeah. And we go from great to Shawn, I think.
Yeah.
Mediocre.
Yeah, I'll get Shawn on here.
I'm kidding. Oh, I miss Shawn.
Do you really, though?
Yeah.
I did too. I haven't seen him enough.
Aw.
He's a ray of sunshine.
He is.
We have not had Shawn in studio for a while because he's been on the road.
Tigers have been too damn good, and the Lions have been too damn good.
I know. I love it.
So much fun.
And he was watching the Spartans, and I don't think he made it out to Seattle for the Washington game, did he?
Who?
Shawn.
I don't think he did go to Washington.
I don't think so either. So, and Erika's back. Erika, how's things going?
Good.
It's great to have you. I was not in here with you last time you were in studio, so this is a special
I know. I've missed you too.
Lie.
So few people say that. It sounds good. Though.
Don't lie.
It sounds good. So before we get to the rest of the show, I want to thank the people who make the show possible. First of all, Dr. Yaldo, just saw him this week. He's recommended a. By the way, he looks like Kirk Cameron's older brother.
Oh,
Spitting image. So,
does Kirk Cameron have an older brother, or is this you just saying what it would look like?
Okay, so I didn't know we were going to. I had an eye test. Now I'm going for the grammatical test. He looks like he could be.
Okay,
Kirk Cameron's other. Or maybe they're the same age. How old is Kirk Cameron? What was that show he was in? That was a long time ago.
Didn't he get kind of weird?
Growing Pains. Well, he's a holy roller.
You might say it's weird,
Yeah,
but most people would say he got religious.
No, I mean religion's fine, but I thought he got weird on top of the religion.
I'm just kidding. He's very religious.
Yeah.
Some people would say extremist.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's worried for your soul. Dr. Yaldo, though, he's worried for your eyes. So go see Dr. Y. We'll tell you what he's got going. Luke Nowacki, he's worried about your future. So check out Luke Nowacki and Pinnacle Wealth Strategies. And, of course, if you're looking for a good time on the East Side or from wherever you hail, the Caju Cafe is the pride of the East Side. Feather bowling, music, food, it's got it all. Check it out. We'll tell you a little bit more about what's coming up at the Caju Cafe this week later on in the show.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about your column from.
Yeah.
I mean, you love talking about yourself and the baseball or softball team. I figured, what about this little work you did?
No.
Pretty big story.
Let's hear about it.
Let me clear this up. It's not about me.
Ever.
For once.
Sure.
It's about the team. Now, it does turn out you can't spell team without an M and an E, which also spell E, which are me, which is also my initials. But that's just a coincidence. We did end the season on a 3-game winning streak.
No one cares about that anymore.
But like AJ, I figured it out. I got the team to buy in. AJ, I'm just telling you, AJ's got it.
He's
no
way.
Right.
There's no way to fact check this at all.
Oh my God.
Maybe you should have come out to a game. I left tickets for you at the box.
Are you really the one in charge?
Sadly.
Oh, okay.
Sadly, but no.
I don't. The point is nobody cares enough to fact check it.
That was
unlike. Watch this segue. Unlike where Mike Rogers lives.
Oh! Yes, so last night I was on the Rachel Maddow Show, which was an interesting experience, talking about Mike Rogers' residence. Curiously, they didn't have any questions about Alyssa Slotkin's residence, which I understand Charlie's talking about on the No BS News Hour.
Yes,
and
yep.
Looking forward to joining Charlie on the next episode.
You did write about Slotkin when she was a rep, had some residency issues. She was staying at an apartment of a lobbyist.
And she moved into a district that she thought would be a better chance for her to win. And then after she won, she moved back to her family farm in her old district. Again, in Michigan, if you serve in Congress, you only have to live in the state of Michigan. But Mike Rogers, there's a real question as to his residency here in the state of Michigan. Mike Rogers, you may remember, was a former congressman, served for 14 years from Brighton, from mid-Michigan. Left Congress, thought he was going to be a media star. I guess got into consulting and things like that instead. Must have done pretty well because he's bought some pretty posh digs down in Florida where he's been living for the last several years. Got a couple nice boats, it looks like, and has been living the good life. In 2022, he bought a...
How posh are we talking?
$1.6 million on a canal, 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, indoor pool, 2 spas. Very nice. Very tasty crib. Yeah. And best of all, that red tile roof, it kind of has that sort of Italianate manor look. Oh. So pretty nice. Drops a big piece of change on it. Then 6 months later, Debbie Stabenow says, I'm going to retire. So Republicans, I think, recruited Rogers pretty hard. He was talking about running for president, which is kind of, boy, I guess you're not too bashful. Andy says you got to feel like you belong in the show. If you're thinking of running for president as a retired congressman from Michigan, you got to believe that you belong in the show. So instead, he decides to run for U.S. Senate from Michigan, registers to vote. First, he buys what I'm going to say is a very shack-like home in White Lake Township, 728 square feet. Nothing to compare to the place he's been crashing in Florida. Registers to vote at his brother's house in Genoa Township, which is right near Brighton. We're told that he moved in there. He and his wife moved in with his brother and his wife, which just mean that their families get along better than my families would. And then decides to knock down this little shack he bought and build a house. In fact, he has his brother build the house. And they've been building and building and building. It's not complete. There's no certificate of occupancy, so he can't live there legally. But back in July, he registered to vote there. And in the August primary, he did vote there, presumably for himself. And now he uses that as his
at the site where he's building the house.
Yeah, there's no certificate of occupancy. You can't live there.
Right.
So, I mean, after reading your whole article, the big question that remains is, where is he? Where is he living? Like, where does he sleep at night?
So the most his campaign will say, and again, this is one of the phenomena.
By the way, that's the annoying thing about it, is they are just beating around the bush to any of the questions that you had. You know, they're blaming, the municipality for taking so long to get the certificate. I mean, everything but answering, where does he live?
Well, the funny thing is they act like this municipal bureaucracy is like, where'd this come from?
It's been around.
His brother's a builder. Mm-hmm. His brother is the supervisor in Genoa Township. If there's anybody who should be able to figure out a township bureaucracy, I would think his brother Bill. But
he could too. Come on.
Well, yeah, he was in government for all these years.
Jesus.
Yes, of course. But I think that I think Charlie and I may get into this on his show, but you call these spokespeople, they're paid very well to be spokespeople. And Erika, you know this. They don't want to speak.
They don't want to speak because they're usually hiding something.
They want written questions. They want to talk off the record. It's like playing doctor, except
anytime
they only want you to show them yours.
Right. And anytime you ask a direct question and someone dances around it, they're hiding something.
Yeah,
it's just answer the goddamn question.
Or they say you explain everything to them. And they say, okay, great. We'll get back to you. You say, now listen, brother, I want to talk to you. I told you everything.
We'll get back to you.
I told you everything so we could have a conversation so you don't feel like, where's this coming from? And then they say, that's cool. And then they get back to you and say, by the way, we're just going to give you a written statement. Mm-hmm. I'm like, wait a minute, I thought we were going to have a conversation because, Erika's been doing this.
They won't have a conversation because they're hiding something.
I think that's often the case, but let me ask you how this works for you.
Or they're a terrible speaker, which he's not.
No, they can't. Well, when was the last time you talked
rule that
to
one out.
the guy? instead of the fart catcher. When did you get to talk to the candidate, the CEO, the
an
boss,
official
or whatever?
position?
Right.
Catcher?
So if they're declining interviews, it's either they're a terrible speaker and they can't do the interview, in my experience, or they're hiding something, lying about something, and they
don't get got.
They don't want to get got. Exactly.
They don't have an answer, or they know the answer they have is not going to benefit them.
Exactly.
So they have these spokespeople.
So they have to give a statement that dances around it.
Sure, fair enough, but then you don't get to speak to them. And one of the things that drives me crazy, and I keep trying to explain this to spokespeople, it's not efficient for me to talk to you. Then you give me a statement. Then I ask you questions. Then you give me another statement.
Oh, of course, it's not efficient. I say we, but coming from my former job at the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, when I did that, we want to make your job as hard as possible, and we want to keep string you along as long as possible.
I had always suspected that, Erika. But you have just told me.
Why would we want to give you what you need?
There is no Santa Claus. Santa is a figment of our imagination. Yes, it is a game. So anyway, we are trying to find out where he lives in White Lake Township.
Not everyone's like that. I'm just saying.
There are exceptions. But fewer exceptions every year.
When it comes to I'd say number one and number two, what I just said. But yeah, if there's something to hide, I mean, there's a spokesperson for a reason.
And I appreciate that, but at least speak. If your job is to go out there and take the bullets, then stand up and, get shot.
Not every place is like that, though.
No, and most are not. So we have asked, where does he live in White Lake Township? They won't tell us that. They've acknowledged that he's really never lived there.
Which is a very simple. Can I think of a simpler question? Where do you live? Well.
and it's not like we're going to publish it. I mean, I know that both Slotkin and Rogers and other elected officials in Michigan, I think the Secretary of State and others, have been swatted where people have gone and put their address in the public domain, and people have gone to kick up dust and cause all kinds of ruckus. So I understand that you don't want us to publish where the man lives, but at the same time you could say, hey, listen, between us, it's 2222 Twin Oaks Way, but don't put that in the paper. Do people really think we're going to do that? I mean, do you know any reporter, Erika, who's ever said, oh, thanks for giving me this. Now I'm going to give everybody the Colonel's secret recipe. No. I mean, we just want the damn chicken, okay, folks? So we don't know where Mike Rogers lives. We do know that he doesn't live where he's registered to vote, and that may be a problem. And whether that's going to be resolved, stay tuned, folks.
Well done. Good story. I have good news and I have bad news.
Is it the same thing? Shawn can't join us?
No, he's there.
Damn it!
The good news is his camera's not working.
Oh, no.
Shawn,
what are you hiding, Shawn?
Shawn, can you hear us?
What's going on over there?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you see us?
Are you dressed?
I can see you, yeah, but I don't know. There's an issue with the laptop. Who knows?
It's all right.
Doesn't matter. You guys don't need... don't need to see me.
No, go to the top of your laptop. Is your little camera thing moved?
We're not going to troubleshoot this with them on the air because it'll take
forever.
Yeah,
no, it's okay. You don't need
Sometimes
to see me.
Sometimes it gets
anyway.
moved.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You haven't forgotten what I look like. It's fine.
Shawn, where are you today?
Oh, I wanted to see
Cleveland.
Larry David.
What did you find in your rental car this trip?
No rental car in this trip. Just Ubers.
Okay.
Yeah, walking.
Any weird Uber experiences? I always have weird ones.
Do you? Not really. There was a guy. I went to the laundromat the other night because I've been on the road for 8 days. And clean clothes are always helpful. And the guy on the way back was wanting to engage in politics, but that's not really weird. He had a MAGA hat in his dash and wanted to talk to me the whole time. But that's not really weird. That's just our country right now.
Okay.
Did you meet anybody at the
laundromat? Yeah, I want to know about the laundromat now.
You pick
Shawn
up any potential
No,
mates?
I just folded clothes, nice and boring, which is how I like it. By the way, I saw I'm sure you guys talked about this. I saw Mike on Rachel Maddow. That was nice. He's trashing his brother, though. Why are you trashing your brother on national television?
Oh no, come on! All he said is he couldn't live with him that long,
I'm sure his brother would say the same.
Yeah, Shawn, you were bitching about picking up relatives at the airport. You're expecting me to live with somebody? Come on now, you got to be kidding me.
When was I complaining about picking up relatives at the airport?
Episode 423, minute 17 in the third segment, just before room 7609. Now, I know it was before room 7609 because when we got to room 7609, you relieved yourself. of the obligation to participate in our conversation.
By the way, I did
How many times was I going to say wow?
The one thing, the one thing that was especially lame about the laundromat is I was invited to dinner by a good friend of Erica's who adores Erika, by the way, Jennifer Hammond.
Hammer! I love her.
I couldn't make it because I had to have clean underwear. That's just
what an
excuse.
It's
a
great way to get out of a dinner.
You didn't go commando? You should have just gone to commando to meet Hammer. You don't turn down Hammer. I'm going to text her.
I did feel a little bit bad, but I needed clean clothes. So, but anyway, she is a huge fan
I just told you to go commando.
For whatever that's worth.
She's great. She's just a great human.
She is.
She wants to know when we're going to have her on the show, by the way.
Let's get her on as soon as possible. She's a riot.
Well, you know what, Shawn? I would just answer it this way. I'd say we've wanted to have you on the show for a long time, Jennifer. You've expressed an interest in being on the show for a long time, and we've told Shawn, would you please invite Jennifer on the show whenever she'd like to come on? So maybe if she could speak to our booker.
I just talked to her yesterday, so I'll we'll get her on.
I don't know. Does it
Shawn, you've been replaced.
Soul of Detroit? Or is it Mark Fellhauer's Soul of Detroit or Sean Windsor's Soul of Detroit? I'm not sure.
Yeah, our name's not on it.
I guess it was, that bandwagon. I guess you're in the back, breathing the diesel fumes. You could invite her on any time, Shawn. You have the power to do so.
By the way, Mark, did Mike find a way to trash this Tigers run like he did with the Lions?
No,
because he actually likes baseball. He likes the Tigers. Remember, I don't know if you know this, but he actually worked at Tiger Stadium for a while as a vendor. You might have mentioned that.
I never knew that.
Did you know that?
He mentioned it 1,000 times.
A million, I think.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Shawn, that he plays professional sports right now? And he was telling Andy Dirks how to play the game.
No. It wasn't professional sports.
You did make it about yourself.
I was just sharing how I know that AJ Hinch's techniques work because I've employed them myself.
What was the link with baseball with the Tigers and Andy Dirks and Kwame Kilpatrick? Because that would have been interesting.
Let's put it this way: they both hit a lot of stuff. Just Kilpatrick hit his stuff in the back of a Navigator, whereas Andy hit his stuff at home plate. Oh, who's?
I don't know where that came from. Why are Kwame's? I'll stop. I can't believe I just said that.
Because he took that earring in and out too much to appease different sectors.
He has huge earlobes.
Or does he have a gauge? Is he doing the gauge now?
He should. Maybe it'll highlight the earlobes.
Yeah, I've always the gauge thing. It's not my thing, but I would try it if it didn't permanently mess up your earlobes. Remember the guy who was part of the Whitmer kidnapping plot when he went to prison?
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to take all the jewelry out.
Right.
So he took the gauge out, and it's just like, what's with Dumbo?
I know, those holes.
Is he going to fly out of the yard during his recreation? I mean, I've seen a shoe fly. I've seen a house fly. I've never seen a Whitmer kidnap plot suspect fly. Shawn, you big Disney fan? No?
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom, isn't that where you live?
I shouldn't make fun of his earlobes.
It's okay.
He was born with them. He can't control those.
He can
control the way he behaves, though.
Yeah, he can control his dick.
Earlobe shaming. Okay.
By the way, for the
record,
record, the only time Kwame Kilpatrick came up is because Shawn mentioned him. Hit the bell.
No, it's totally my fault. So
I like
do
Mark's
have a couple
quiet mumblings over there.
I do have a couple of quick stories.
Yeah, let's have it. Dirty
story
thong.
Time. Here we go.
Yeah, Shawn's dirty thong story time.
The first one is it was
filthy.
It's not as I'll save the better one for the last. But so I'm in Cleveland and I did an NPR.
You're going to reward us for sitting through the Drek?
What's that?
This is a way to reward us for sitting through the draws.
I want to hear it.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I did an NPR hit the other day back in Detroit, and the host, after we got done recording, said she was from Cleveland, and she said, make sure you go to this Hungarian bakery. So I go to the Hungarian bakery, and it's my kind of just right up my alley. And I walk in, and the guy says, what you want, whatever. And I told him that I was sent here by a radio host who said, I cannot leave Cleveland without leaving this bakery. And the guy he said, well, who was it? And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's a big city. You know how people always say, oh, I knew somebody from Los Angeles. What was their name? And I said, her name was April. And he said, Bear. So he knew her, and that was kind of fun. And he said, well, who are you? And I said, well, I'm nobody. And he said, well, she wouldn't have nobody on the show. So I told him. So that was just a randomness of going into this little neighborhood Hungarian bakery.
Did you get the food for free?
Having that work. What's that?
Did you get the food for free?
No. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. But okay, whatever.
Don't
That's
you know
just
who
a
I
quick
am?
aside. So I'm standing on a.
So you got the
I'm
goulash.
standing on
What
a
happened
street
next?
corner. Yeah. So I'm standing on a street corner, and it's midnight in downtown Houston.
Okay.
And I had a dinner with a friend who lives in Texas. I was walking back to my hotel. I'm in an intersection, and a white car with the windows rolled down, pulls up, and I don't really pay a lot of attention. And then all of a sudden, I hear, "Hey, do you have any life advice?" And I look over, and they're all young guys.
It's Robert Van Winkle.
Yeah. They're in late teens, early 20s, and they're absolutely up to no good. And I have no idea if they have a camera on me. They're doing a TikTok, thing to make fun of the old guy, whatever, the uncool guy. Yeah. So I looked at them. I said, "No, do you?" And they said, "Yes. How about wearing a toupee?" And then they said, "How about wearing a toupee? And you could really use some hair. And how do you go through life looking like that?"
Did you tell me? You guys will know in a few years.
I said, what would a toupee? What good would a toupee do for me? And then what? So I can look like you guys?
That's not a bad comment.
And they didn't really know what to say. And then the driver said, "Oh, you don't think I'm cute?" And that's when I realized, okay,
was that a
bye?
Oh,
so Shawn, I'm pretty sure this didn't happen, but I have a cousin Jeffrey in Houston, but I don't. He listens to the show.
Not everything is related back to you.
No, I'm just saying I don't think it was cousin Jeff looking for Shawn on the streets of Houston to razz him. But if it was,
they were clearly just.
If it was, I don't condone that, Jeffrey.
But what you don't know these days is who's filming. You also don't have any idea what else is in the car, who's packing.
You have no idea what their intentions are.
No, you don't. So my instinct was to just mess with them a little bit. And then I quickly realized, all right, enough's enough. And so they eventually just waved peace and left. But it's been a while since somebody just randomly yelled out, "Hey, how about a toupee?" I thought that was funny.
Yeah, how old were they? And it was all men?
19, 20, 21, all boys. The way they were dressed, they were absolutely up to no good. It was a school night.
I was just going to say that. I don't know if they have much schooling.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was probably a TikTok thing, right? They're out trying to mess with people and get something on video and then say, "Hey, look, we're
Did you see that they were recording you?
I couldn't tell.
They
It was dark a little bit. But you never know,
If you
right?
had a feeling that they were, they probably were.
That's your first assumption?
Brats.
Houston is not not one of my favorite cities I've ever been to. I don't know. I didn't really care.
Oh, you were there for the national title game.
Yeah, and the place was
Michigan win the
fucking
national championship?
dead. That downtown was dead. Nobody wanted to know my advice for life or film me for a TikTok, which is probably apropos.
Mark's jealous.
I'm kind of jealous. Yeah,
Well,
cousin Jeffrey didn't look for me.
When I said, "No, I don't, but do you?" I think that
now
it's
all about Mark, I guess.
Oh.
No, it was about the city of Houston, really.
Patreon subscribers, you can see the look on my face.
That's my story. That's my story. Oh, by the way, the Tigers had not a walk-off, but a 3-run homer in the ninth.
Are you going Wednesday?
We had no idea, Shawn.
Are you going Wednesday, Shawn?
Yes, I'm going Wednesday and then Thursday and then Friday back to Texas.
Oh my God, it's a lot of traveling for you.
For the Lions Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't you say something about a thong though? I thought I heard a thong. I heard that wrong.
No, that's what he's cleaning. The laundromat.
It was warm. It was warm. I mean, a thong.
You want him
nobody wants to
commando?
see
Now you want him in a thong?
right?
I don't know.
Pick one, Erica. Jeez.
Shawn doesn't use a
nobody
thong.
wants to
He
see
uses chains. He just gets a rope chain. And
Gross.
That's why at the laundromat they said, like, "Who's this guy washing metal?" That's why Hammer said, "I got to take you to dinner just so you don't get
nobody
arrested."
wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that.
Goodness.
I mean, I got to say, April and the D's were fun, but I'm kind of enjoying October in the D with the Lions and the Tigers. I can't wait to see what Comerica is going to be like on Wednesday.
Are you going?
It's gonna be nuts.
I am going, yeah. My buddy of mine got tickets, so I wanted to go.
Oh,
Is
great.
Maz taking Drew's?
Drew is going to use Drew's seats. My buddy goes, the seats aren't very good, but, we'll be there and friendship and all that stuff. I said, the seats aren't good. I don't want to go then.
By the way,
I don't care about this friendship thing now.
I want to get caught up on Maz's boycott of Spartan Stadium. I understand that is no longer in effect.
He's been back. He's been back, yeah.
He's writing notes.
Maz boycott.
Very heavily over here.
Okay, good. I want to make note of that in case I see him on the concourse having a panic attack. Jeez, oh, Pete.
Well, Shawn, get home, okay?
Yes, I'm actually about to head to the airport, and I'm glad that Mike explained baseball to Andy Dirks.
I
that
know.
seems about right.
Listen, it was not an explanation, Shawn. It was more of a meeting of the minds. It was
right.
It was. You know what it was? It was like Lincoln and Churchill talking about politics.
Oh,
really,
my God.
when you think about it.
I miss you, Shawn. I wish you were here.
We miss you, Shawn.
Yeah, but Shawn, before you come back, can you make sure you do your laundry again? Because we don't want those skanky Shawn threads coming in here from a road trip. We want you fresh.
I will do laundry just for you.
All right, buddy.
You know, although I don't know why you care when we cuddle. They're not really clothes involved. So what does it matter to you?
Boy, you know, I think, Shawn, when you listen to the top of this show, you'll be very interested because we mentioned one of your favorite sports writers, and you know, and his.
He was right about something. He was wrong about something.
That's right. That's right.
What are we talking about?
No, I want you to have the joy of discovery.
He's not going to listen. I'll just tell him. Carlos, he was right about the Tigers in the playoffs. He was wrong about Skubal and the Cy Young.
Plus, we need the download, so, you know.
I guess he likes AJ Hinch now, too. So,
well, who doesn't, right? All right, buddy.
Yeah,
safe travels.
All right. Good to see you. Good to see you. Sorry you couldn't see me. If the Tigers keep winning, I will be on the road again Tuesday. But if not, I'll be back in the studio.
We'll find you wherever you are.
Is that a threat?
Goodbye.
Oh, man, the geeks have inherited the earth.
Did I do that?
What a dork.
Does him wanting to play with us again mean that he's turning into a geek, or we're turning into cool guys?
So, I got to tell you, the Tigers are winning. The Lions are winning. The Red Wings are about to start their season. We're going to have hockey in the evening, baseball in the afternoon.
I feel. Oh, okay. I was going to say I felt like there was a Michigan football slight coming up here.
Oh, no. That's those.
I saw people flipping out over the new Red Wings ad yesterday.
Why? What was it?
Because the patch was on the Gordie Howe jersey.
Oh.
What? I don't know. I don't know this. What is what patch?
The Waste Management.
Oh, the ad.
We have a new sponsor.
I know.
Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, people were all up in arms about Meyer being on the Tigers sleeve. So what?
Yeah.
They're like, trash the patch. Well, I just liked that there was a Camaro in the ad. And
of course you did.
Yeah.
You know,
look how pleased she is.
My only problem with these sponsorships is that the team brings in more money, but they never lower the prices for the fans.
Yeah, that's good business.
Well, it's bad for fans. But anyways, everything's going so well. I really don't have a geek this week unless anybody has one that they would like.
I mean, besides all the stuff with Diddy that we're all finding out.
God, yeah.
I won't even bring any of that up.
Yeah, whenever I do something like that, my mom says, it's much worse than being a geek, what he's done.
That's much worse.
I have one today. You know how much I love gambling, right? I don't know if you know that. I like sports gambling.
In fact, I lost a bet on that, yes.
How much do you love it? I didn't realize. I thought.
What do you mean?
I didn't know.
I mean, I don't have an addiction. I don't love it that much.
I'm just kidding.
I like to place a wager here.
I bet I could stop any time. What kind of odds would give me?
I was not as bad as this is a story out of ESPN today. A group that looked at a bunch of college athletes, social media, and coaches and referees, and what they found is, wow, about 12% of the abuse that they get on social media is from angry bettors.
Because they didn't go for it. They didn't.
Well, no, they would lose. This is what's happening, and you find this out. And you know who told me that was with Jake Moody, the kicker, San Francisco. His dad, Chad Moody, said that same thing happened to Jake, where somebody will lose a bet and then find the player's Venmo account and send them a bill for their lost bet. And there was an interview with Peyton Thorne, the former Spartan quarterback, who's now at Auburn, and he said, "Yeah, it happens all the time. Parlay straight up at whatever it is. There's always someone who's pissed, someone who's angry, and will hit up their Venmo account asking for money." And he said, but what's funny is when they hit that parlay or they win, they never offer us any money.
No.
So it's just one more example that it's professional sports. College is professional sports now. So that's my Geek of the Week. That
Which
was
is
also
what I've argued all along, which is why I'm unhappy. But you guys love it.
And the game's better than ever.
It's not about making the game better. It's college sports. If you want to go see the best game, skip college sports and go right to pro sports. That's where the best are. Your notion of what college sports should be is Mark is my geek of the week. Thank you for bailing me out.
Well, am I allowed to like 2 different leagues in basketball or soccer?
You can, but the objective of college sports is not to be the best sports it can possibly be.
What is it?
It should be to give people a chance to.
I didn't say what it should be. What I'm asking you what it is then. It's a business. It's a big business.
No, it is now. That's my whole problem.
It always has been.
No.
It hasn't?
You can't just say no. It absolutely has been.
Listen, there was a time, and
Ever
the
since
reason why
83,
There was a time.
the University of Oklahoma sued over TV rights.
Yeah, that's 1983. They've been playing college football since 1883.
Okay, then it has been since the mid-40s.
Which is why Michigan is the winningest program, because they beat a bunch of nunneries back in the 20s.
It has been since the mid-40s when they came up with the term student athletes to avoid paying out a workman's comp claim when somebody died playing football. They're not employees. They're student athletes.
That's fine.
It's always been a racket.
It hasn't always been
the labor has always gotten fucked.
There was an opening in the Big
I thought
Ten.
you were pro-labor.
I am pro. In fact, I was at a union strategy session last night that went. It was interesting. Anyway, the University of Chicago, one of the best educational institutions in the country, dropped football. They were an original member of the Big Ten. They dropped football because they thought that college sports was a distraction.
And how'd that work out for their enrollment?
I think they're still doing pretty good, but their football team
way bigger. They could have a lot more money.
Yeah, I don't think people go to MIT because they're concerned about the water polo team not bringing enough TV money. I'm just saying college sports should be about giving people an opportunity. That's why you have 110 people on the team. That's why you give people scholarships so that they can go to college. We tell people the reason you play sports. In fact, those of us who have witnessed kids playing high school sports, a lot of those kids are playing for scholarships, maybe at a Division III school, maybe at a Division I team.
Well, is that wrong?
School?
That should be wrong then. They should be
But it's
playing for the
creating
joy
an
of the
opportunity
game.
for them. No, they're not trying to get a scholarship to play college sports so they can make the college money so that they can bring in more ratings. They're doing it because their athleticism is a gateway to a college education at an affordable price, maybe for free, maybe because they couldn't afford it otherwise, or maybe because...
But if they're that valuable, why shouldn't they get NIL in high school?
Why shouldn't they get NIL? Now you want to do NIL in high school?
That's already happening. When people... When there's this much money going around,
I will
and they're
never
making
come
money,
without a geek of the week again.
All right,
that was a mistake. I left an opening. And the scoundrels ran in.
And you can dance together all night if you've got the time.
Well, it's time for us to support some of the people who support us, and that, of course, is Dr. Yaldo. Americans spent $11 billion, 11 with a B, on cataract. And I spell, never mind, with a B. Never mind, sorry. We're not going to go to NWA here in 7609. It's already controversial. Americans spent $11 billion on cataract surgeries last year, and if you live long enough, you'll need cataract surgery too. Cataracts are simply our natural lenses that have gotten old and brittle, like everything else in our withered, desiccated bodies. I'm thinking of you, Sean.
Thinking of Sean.
Yeah, and his filthy drawers. That's a visual.
Apparently, you know all about him when you guys cuddle.
Boy, he told me it's like Bill Murray from Stripes. He said, "What do you wear underneath?" It's like not very much, and it's always somewhat complicated.
Oh.
So, yeah. Anyways, Dr. Yaldo says you can wait or you can avoid ever getting cataracts. You can also avoid failing vision of all kinds by getting bifocal lens implants from Dr. Yaldo, Michigan's most experienced eye surgeon. His Clearview lenses give you perfect 20/20 vision or better for things up close and at a distance. That's for life. and will prevent cataracts from ever forming and making your vision blurry and lacking brightness. If you're in your 40s or older and have trouble seeing up close, that's pretty much everybody, go see Dr. Yaldo. See how Clearview lens can change your life, meaning no more prescription changes, no more eyeglasses, no more contacts, no more reading glasses, no more saline solution, no more any of that stuff. You get rid of it all forever. And like Mark and I, who have both had LASIK, we see better than perfect. 2015 vision, folks. That's great stuff. You can get all done at the Yaldo Eye Center. Go to yaldoeyecenter.com, sign up for a free evaluation, and when you go, tell Dr. Y that ML sent you.
Beautiful.
And you know who else agrees? AJ.
Gee.
I haven't asked him, but we have so much in common as you know.
So much.
It's like we're brothers from another mother. Luke Nowacki, listen, I heard from the best of celebrities, and I think you may have talked to some of these people too, Erika, that if Donald Trump wins in November, it's the end of our nation. Then I heard from some other people, also celebrities, because that's kind of the circles I travel in, that if Kamala Harris wins in November, it's the end of our nation. So since it appears that you may be screwed either way, why not ask Luke Nowacki for help managing your investment portfolio as the country implodes like the last days of Rome? What do you have to lose? I mean, you can't lose more than 100%. And the other thing is when you call Luke, he'll make it all about you, sweetheart.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. member FINRA SIPC.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc. is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent.
Mosaic Wealth.
Inc.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa Welcome Bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Okay, so I turned Geek of the Week over to Mark, and that was a terrible, horrible, dreadful mistake.
I thought it was a good one. You're for people harassing college athletes when they lose their bets? All right.
No, but it led to this whole college sports should
I
just
thought
be
that was fun
the
to
kids are
watch
just
you guys kinda-
chattel.
Yeah.
Have ML be wrong again?
I've been
an argument's been going on for 4 years. He's lost every time.
I've been wrong so often it doesn't even affect me anymore. It's like I was telling somebody before we came into the studio, and one of the reasons I was a little late is I said, one of the reasons I'm able to do what I do as an investigative reporter is, I grew up in a fairly posh community. We didn't have much money. We didn't see the world the way most of our neighbors did, and I dressed like crap. So by the time I was 18, I didn't really expect to ever be liked. So it's made doing everything since then really easy. So being wrong, I've been wrong so long. I live in a house with 3 women. I've never won an argument ever, never will. So yeah, wrong. That's my wheelhouse. However,
I love it.
As you now know, if you get between the
Yet
lines,
you still
on
try to be
Belle Isle,
right.
I can turn. Well, it's like baseball. Hope springs eternal, and it springs in the spring. So, Mark, big windup. I turned room 7609 over to Mark. Mark, what have you got for us here in the New Wave Suite?
A classic song from the year 1984, right? Does it need more setup than that?
And it's not David Bowie's 1984.
No,
which is a new wave classic.
And it's a good reason to subscribe to the Patreon because I thoroughly enjoyed the actual visual part of this song because the song itself, I don't know if it's that great a song.
Here we go.
Detroit is gonna party.
This is in high definition, folks.
Isn't it great watching all these old clips of Tiger Stadium? Do you remember that Channel 4 put this out as a full video promo?
Oh my gosh.
I was at Channel 4 in 2006 and they brought back Bless You Boys because they wanted to get in the playoff spirit and they didn't commission a new tune. So they recycled it.
This is from 84?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a big deal. I remember.
Just check out the hairdos.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
Well, and I don't know if you saw that one sign. I think parking was $5, which is pretty hilarious to look at these days. And what's parking around Comerica now? 60, 70?
Yeah.
So when I was at Channel 4, one of Karen Drew's favorite stories every season was to nail the scammers who would stand by a vacant lot and say $20 to park, but it wasn't their lot. They'd take your $20 and disappear.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Herbie Redmond. God bless him.
I'm surprised you haven't pointed out that you worked there. Didn't you work there this year?
Somebody already mentioned that.
Oh, it's crazy.
I love it when other people plug my many endeavors.
You do have many.
There's Kirk.
There's Gibby.
Hitting something that's doesn't have antlers.
So I was, there's for some reason.
Wait, Boy George, endorsed the Tigers?
Yeah.
With that awkward thumbs up.
I know, as if he knows what baseball
I
is.
know. Did he know what anything was happening at that moment?
He knew music.
Yeah.
I love how poor the quality is.
There's Herbie.
Herbie the dancing groundskeeper.
Herbie Redmond, yeah. Is that Larry Herndon?
Tom Selleck.
Oh my gosh, he looks the same.
He does, doesn't he? I swear, most sports songs are just so corny.
They're terrible.
They're all.
I always talk about the Lions song, and my friends will really sing. I'm like, I
Gridiron
don't
Heroes.
Like it.
You don't like Gridiron Heroes?
What's the
Forward
best
down the field? You don't like that?
What's the best and worst team song that you've heard?
I think it could be better.
Oh, you mean
like some beatboxing?
I'm not talking about that one. Oh. I'm talking about
Gridiron Heroes.
You're gonna sing it?
I just sang it. Forward down the field, the Lions team that will not yield. You don't? Doesn't everybody know the song? When the blue and silver wave. Of course, Elric.
No, I'm talking about the song.
What are you talking about?
When they score.
That's what they sing.
That's the same one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They just didn't play it very often for many years.
See, I love it because I remember from when I was a little.
No, I'm talking about the new one.
There's a new one. Is it the GMAC Cash one? What's the new one? I didn't know they have a new song when they score. You sure it's not?
Can you give us a couple verses?
No, because I block it out.
Well, now I want to hear it. Damn. That one's pretty terrible. I remember the Red Wings every year.
Unless it's the same one and I just keep blocking it out.
I think it's the same one.
Oh, damn.
Remember the Red Wings every year
Am I
would
that
put
terrible?
out a new CD with a new group of songs?
I just think they could do better.
Hey, Hey, Hockey Town was a good song.
Oh, that, yeah.
I still maintain that's legitimately a really good song.
That is good. And what did didn't Mickey Redmond sing
He
one?
did a country version of
Whiskey in the Jar? I know he did. Didn't
no,
he do that?
they had a cup song one year and they did variations on it. They did like a hip hop version and a rock version, and I think Mickey did the country version.
Okay. He's got enough flannel, he could probably pull that off.
I do like another one bites the dust that they did back in '81.
Jimmy Spider-Man Allen?
Yes, I had that 45.
And of course it sent the team into a tailspin after it was released.
It did, yeah.
Maybe it is but there's just certain lyrics that they always play, and it's not it's not the
blue
beginning.
And silver wave, stand into the brave, rah, rah, rah. Go hard, win the game, when the team gain your fame, down the field and gain a Lion victory. Go Lions.
Yeah, maybe it's just the same certain verse.
You just want me to sing it?
I kind of just. Maybe I like it better when you. Maybe it's just the people singing it around me.
Maybe it's just the people that are around you. Period. Right.
I would love to have these guys come in and perform their songs. We could do.
And
like
no, I'm not talking about my
American
friends.
Idol.
I'm talking about other just drunk screaming.
Do you go to a lot of Lions games?
I try to go when I was Tigers Lions games whenever I can.
Yeah.
I haven't gone to as many this year. I've just been really busy, but no excuse. I know.
I haven't been to Ford Field. I went for the playoff games last year, but maybe it's I love the Silverdome so much. Like I just miss the Silverdome. Am I the only person?
No.
Why are you making that face
It's
at
very
me?
nostalgic.
What's wrong with the Silverdome?
I went to go see a concert at the Silverdome, and I'm not sure I ever heard an actual clear note. That place was
concerts are different than
terrible.
seeing a game there.
Yeah.
terrible. Well, the Lions were terrible. You know, the best.
Same thing when you see a concert at Ford Field or,
Yeah, not the best place.
or like a concert at Comerica.
The acoustics at Ford Field are not good.
They're not. It's not the best to see a show there.
It just depends where you're sitting.
Yeah.
Because I think at Comerica Park they sound okay. I mean, I worked some games as a beer man there. I think I did Dave Matthews and.
Of course,
there was a boy band. Well, I worked as a beer man. Yeah, I'm not a Dave Matthews fan. Because I drank too much.
I don't despise. They're great. I'm so, and I used to be a huge fan of theirs when I was younger.
Did you like Dave Matthews?
I have some friends who are so obsessed.
Yeah.
It's like a cult.
It is a cult.
Oh. So I worked a game. He played for like 3.5 hours, which is great if you're a beer man because you're just selling tons of beer. He went on so long, there was a couple screwing in the upper deck in center field. And when they finished, I went up and said, "You going to buy her a beer?" And he's like, "No." I'm like, wow, what a great guy. That's in my Dave Matthews band.
How do you know they were screwing? How long did you watch?
Because I had seventh grade human sexuality in middle school, okay?
Sexuality?
That's what they called it. I think it was called human. And the teacher was a guidance counselor. His name was Mr. Ireton, so everybody called him Iron Balls, and he hated it.
Very creative.
This was in the early '80s.
I bet he still goes by that too.
Oh man,
I thought it was cool.
if he's still with us,
Iron Balls.
But
Iron Balls here.
all these counselors were forced to teach this class, so they hated it because it was all
Of course they hated
12-year-old boys. So he's like, okay, we're going to talk about there are parts of the penis that involve things that vas, and he's like, there's like the vas deferens, and then Jeff Henze yells from the back room, and Vaseline. He's like, Henze, go to the office, get out of here.
Oh man, he thought he killed with that line, didn't he?
Oh yeah,
He
Henze
probably,
was-
he thought he was super cool.
He's still using it.
Well, yeah.
You know why he's still in the 7th grade?
He calls old Iron Balls and just yells it into the phone and hangs up.
Yeah.
Now it's probably rusty balls, but
Ew.
just it's sweaty. It's steel. Anyway, what happened? How did we get here? I don't know. Okay,
It's
anyway.
crazy.
Well, speaking of that part of the body, we got a note from a gentleman named, I assume it's a gentleman, or maybe it's a lady of the evening, named, oh, no. This is.
Did you read it yet?
This clears up a question. This is from Penis Breath.
Oh, he's back?
Yes, because we raised a question
Give him
last
a
week.
shout out.
Yeah, is this really your name, or is this like is this a side effect of your job or hobbies? It says, "Thank you once again for the shout out. Loved the show today. I identify as a he/him. I've been listening since the beginning.
I had a feeling.
How much do I have to donate to join the crew in the studio? Send us another message, Penis Breath, and we'll
want a penis breath in here. Another one.
Yeah, I mean, is it? Can we give him some Tic Tacs?
Boy,
That's the only feedback we have.
No, we have some more.
Okay,
And we
please carry on.
also want to welcome Robert Dorijo Jones, who became a member of what I was calling the Soul Patrol.
Yeah, which is stolen, but
Mark did not like that.
No, it was stolen from Taylor Hicks.
So I'm going to steal from somebody much more talented than Taylor Hicks, much smarter than Taylor Hicks, and much cooler than Taylor Hicks.
That person.
Erika Erickson. We are now calling our Patreon posse the Soulmates.
Oh yeah!
There we go. That's your money.
The souls unite.
That's your money at work. Those are your dollars.
Yeah.
Going to work for you. And for those of you who aren't supporting the show with a donation, for as little as $5 a month, you get to watch the show.
You stole that from Taylor Hicks.
If you're a $5 Patreon member, you can see the look on my face as Erika just called me out as being even less cool than.
It's so uncool.
Now that we both have gray hair, I'm kind of into Taylor Hicks, but nobody else is. Anyway,
You should get Taylor Hicks on the show now.
And apologize.
I think
apologize
he'd probably
and
do
tell
it
him
for
that you stole
$5.
it.
We could put your $5 to work booking Taylor Hicks. But those of you who support the show, we really appreciate. You get to watch the show. You get the show before anybody else. You don't listen to those annoying insertion ads, and you get our bonus episode. Our most recent bonus episode features our own Erika Erickson. So please sign up for Patreon. It helps keep us coming back every week. And we also have people who support the show by sponsoring us, and that's the Caju Cafe, one of our best and most loyal sponsors. They're the pride of the East Side, where you find great eats, dope beats, and feather bowling.
Oh my God. What was that?
That was not a dope.
I was kicking.
He was trying to do his Fat Boys impersonation.
Dropping some dope rhymes and
Were you
kicking
trying to
some
beatbox
some
right there?
fat beats. No? the human beatbox. No.
That is not.
Wait, oh, there we go.
All you have to say is boots and cats.
He's like,
really funny.
Like, what was that?
It's the Fat Boys, right? Isn't it the Fat Boys?
Of course. Cool Rock Ski in the house.
For fuck's sake.
Okay.
What's going on?
Let's,
Right now at the Cadger, they're like, we're going to cancel our sponsorship.
Yeah, this is
listen to
we're
Mark.
treading very.
That's the Boots and Cats beat. Everyone knows that one, right?
Apparently not.
Yeah, just say Boots and Cats over and over, and then Cats and Boots.
Did you learn that at Puff Daddy's?
Boots and cats and boots and cats and cats and boots and cats.
Let's keep it okay. Start your week off right with Muscle Madness every weekend. Yo, when the Cadger dishes up all you can eat
Oh, that's
mussels.
right. You're still doing a read.
Wednesday, it's karaoke, and they do accept beatboxing. Thursday, hear the Blue Belly Boys. Friday, it's My Fellow Astronauts with Ben Silas. On Saturday, it's Ish, just Ish.
Oh, okay. That's a good. I like that band name.
Must be Irish. They take the stage.
Wait, why?
Well, because Ish, it's one of these things that they say in Ireland.
Oh, it's also what they say when they don't want to say shit, right?
No, they usually say shite.
No, not.
Oh,
when they don't want to.
Not Irish people.
Oh, sorry.
People in general. Why are you slow today?
I
mean, you were really late. So.
I have a cousin in Ireland too, by the way. Hope he's listening.
Is it
still.
Joffrey?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No. Anyways, on Sunday, you can end the week right on a high note with Karam, Gideon.
Oh, that's right. We're still doing a read.
I can't work on this. I'm contacting my agent.
Just go to the Caju Cafe. You're going to find a
Just
great
go.
act.
It's fun. It's
Jesus,
cool.
what
You'll
else
see
needs
On
to
some
be
Sunday,
done?
you can catch the Karam, Gideon Quartet, and of course Monday. Oh, you know what? Monday night.
Open mic?
Well, they got Muscle Madness, but you can also have the Monday Night Jam with Bobby East and friends. I wonder what it's like to have friends. Maybe I should ask.
Yeah. No, it's pretty great. It's good to have friends.
It is good,
Try
yeah.
it sometime. Yeah. We hang out, chat, go to games, go to Lions games together.
I guess you're going to the Tigers tomorrow with a friend, I guess.
Are you not going?
No. Be working.
All right.
And been working on my boots and kids pizza. I also have to make a correction because we believe in the truth here.
Who messed up? You?
Oh. PJ points out, you may remember we talked about how great Don Cheadle is, how he's great in the big $1 million fight.
Uh-oh.
And I said he was, most people, don't know that he was in Swingers.
He wasn't in Swingers.
PJ says, I guess all young black men look the same. All the best. Yeah, it was not.
Oh, my gosh.
Who was it?
It was not Don Cheadle.
Who was it?
I'll tell you in 1 minute.
Oh, because you still don't know? Just say it's
Don Cheadle he's
in everything.
Yeah, he's in a lot of movies.
That's okay. Yesterday, Drew confused Denzel Washington with Morgan Freeman, who I immediately confused Morgan Freeman with.
Okay, that one's gonna be tough to live down.
Yeah.
Alex Desert, and if you're watching us, where's the camera? Alex Desert, kind of.
I don't know.
No one knows who that is.
Yeah.
Well, he's a Don Cheadle lookalike. That's who he is.
Let me see. Is he though?
Sort of. You put a pork pie hat on him, sure.
You know what? I will say he kind of looks like Don Cheadle.
Well, you're just proving this guy's point right. I guess they all look the same to you.
Maybe I do have.
They don't.
Maybe I do have a friend somewhere.
Next thing you know, you're telling
he's
those
kinda
people.
Attractive.
Oh.
As is Mr. Cheadle.
What's
He's
this
got
dude's
nice
name?
eyes.
What's
I
this
think he's
dude's
better looking than Don Cheadle.
What's his name?
They're both handsome men who I could tell apart in a lineup, for the record. Alex Desart. Desert? I don't know.
But how recent is that photo?
The difference between the Desert and Alex Desart is you would want to have Alex Desart.
I don't think he looks anything like Don Cheadle. Just saying.
Well, maybe that photo. I don't know.
This photo? You don't see this? It's.
Yeah, I'm looking at one very similar to that.
Okay.
This guy's head is like really long.
Well,
Did you notice that? Like that guy's head is like squished in a vice.
like a filbert?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, okay. So all nuts look alike. Okay, I got it. So while people are kicking the shit out of me, Hannah checks in to say, hey, ML, since you did several days of shoe leather reporting up in Brighton and White Lake, did you drive 5 minutes north to the 10-acre fake farm, which grows literally nothing? Cranbrook alum, retired Langley spook Slotkin inherited and pretends to live in? I did mention this whole issue.
You did. It's in the article.
Outside of a somewhat charming downtown, Holly is a podunk Rust Belt town. Any Ivy League zillionaire heiress is not living here. And I think there's a reference to Alyssa Slotkin's grandfather started a
high
company,
grade, Ballpark Franks.
Ballpark
right?
Franks.
Oh, yeah.
Number one selling hot dog in America.
Free plug there. Like Rogers, I doubt either live in Michigan at all, unless you count photo ops during election season. If Rogers loses, I'm sure he will quickly sell that new house. Alyssa's bio says born in NYC, boarded at Cranbrook, college for 6 years in New York, and she was a Fed in D.C. for 20 years. She worked for the CIA and then the National Security Council, I think, or agency, one of those two. When precisely was the last time she was an unquestionable full-time Michigan resident? Literally ever? I'd bet her Cranbrook Kingswood yearbook directory didn't even use a Michigan hometown address. Has anyone bothered to look up her Cranbrook Kingston yearbooks and directories? Anyways, I doubt I'm telling you anything you don't know, which is why so many people, including me, have quit voting. Hey, wait a minute, Hannah. Why don't you write somebody in at least? Red team and blue team are pretty much the same team. And as I point out in my column...
I kind of agree with her, but... Yeah.
They are both...
About quitting voting?
No,
just that they're all the same.
They're kind of the same. But which I disagree with. But anyway,
policies are different, but the people are pretty much all the same. I feel like a lot of them are grifters.
I think when you put Marjorie Taylor Greene on one end and Alexa Ocasio-Cortez on the other end, you got two very different people. I'm not saying it's one better than the other, but to say those two are similar...
I think their policy ideas are very, very different, clearly. But
now I will tell you people who I think are
personality-wise, they're not that far different from each other. I think you have to have a certain type of ego to be a public official like
There's
that.
a certain type. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I don't think either one of them cares about Americans. If that's a pretty generic term.
So sad.
I really don't.
I
really don't. I think they care about there's certain kind of Americans.
I think they, in their own way, care about America. I just think the way they express it may not always be the most conducive to bringing us all together. But I do take your point, Mark, because I have said for a long time that people on the far left and the far right believe in different things, but often act the same way, where they'll ignore facts when it's convenient to make their argument, when they'll accuse you of not being enough of one of or another thing, or being too much of another thing. But
the problem is they make good TV, and therefore they kind of go on the cable channels all the time, and therefore kind of control the narrative of what we talk about.
Well, it's more than making good TV. They had to convince enough people to elect them to get on TV in the first place. So.
Does Marjorie Taylor Greene, I know she sits on committees, and does Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, do they really have that much power in their party? Marjorie might because she's super close to Trump, but they are still just reps.
Right.
They're not leading the House.
Look what you got to send you, Hannah. This is like that.
Well, I think it's
blaming.
Okay. I think there's a lot of exhaustion because, you see these questions about Rogers. You see them about Slotkin, and those are our choices because you know what? Nobody pays attention to primaries.
And that's true. And people don't vote in local elections where your vote really has the most impact. But let's get back to Hannah taking some shots at me. She says all this political stuff. It's all ginned up media hysteria and hit pieces like yours, when the fact it's pack puppets and war hawks on all sides. No matter who you vote for, our next senator is going to be a retired Fed who doesn't live in Michigan, both open borders and both itching for hot wars in the Mideast and Ukraine. Whew, that's a hot take. And some of it, I think, is probably hitting pretty close to the mark. It's signed Hannah and Holly with a smiley face emoji. So I guess I do have another friend.
When you know how much time they spend raising money for the next election, especially House members, it's just, it's all a game.
Well, one of the things that I never did as a candidate, and we raised $100,000, which is not insignificant, is I never did call time. I never locked myself in a room for 2 hours a day just calling people, and that was never my most important thing.
All the time.
All the time.
On both sides. It's exhausting. And once again, not voting is a form of voting. That's all I'm going to say. If you don't like either candidate, why are you voting for one?
That's like, what's the sound of one hand clapping? It's kind of a deep Zen thing. But yeah, if you're not voting, you basically are.
People always say that you must vote. You have to vote. It's like, no, I don't, because I don't really care.
So
I don't really like either one. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to vote. But
I don't think you have to vote. But if you're bitching at me at the bar and you tell me you didn't vote, I don't have to listen to you bitch at me at the bar.
But I didn't vote because I don't like it.
Bitch at the bar anyway. But
not voting is still.
That's your ticket. That's your ticket to complain.
If you didn't do anything about it, again, yes. When people complain about anything and they're not doing anything about it, I don't want to hear it, man.
Yeah, and I don't want to bring.
I wish you could just go in and vote and just have a none of the above. Like that'd be a great thing to have on a ballot for a lot of people. Seriously, because I bet you a lot of times it would probably be close to a third party.
Here's what happens then: somebody changes their name to none of the above and gets elected. But, you know, I don't want to bring this back.
If that's the case, then fine. If that's how you win, go for it. Yeah. It's a good loophole.
Sure.
I like a good loophole.
Well, we invite your feedback, whether you are for us or against us. We don't care. You can send it to mlsoulofdetroit@gmail.com. You can also send us your suggestions for room 7609. We love it when you tell us about a song you think we should dig. But more importantly, we want to know why you think it's such a cool tune. I'm very sorry Shawn isn't with us because we do
miss the guy, miss the big guy.
Yeah.
Miss the soft-hearted schlub. Now, especially now that he's Downy Fresh, how often do we get that? And Hammer, by the way, next time you see him, you should know he's got some standards. He's only going to be he's gonna be presentable.
He will be
when he sees one of our.
Yeah,
local
we'll get
legends.
Hammer in here. Yeah, she's just she's fun.
Last time I saw her, she yelled at me. So.
Oh no!
Yeah, the killer cares
for
ringing the bell too loud. She goes, "You're gonna break it." I'm like, "I'm not gonna break it."
It did eventually break, though.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Sure.
She go yell at the person that broke it.
Oh dear.
She probably broke it.
Well, we will be back next week. It's great to have Erika here in studio. She's going to be here on a regular basis, folks. So keep tuning in.
Yay!
Tell your friends, listen, like, and share, and please consider joining the Soulmates by making a small contribution or a ridiculously large.
I'm going to call Taylor Hicks.
Are we going to get TH here?
Yeah.
Okay. We could probably use some THC as well. But we will be back next week. Until then, Cyrus, take us out.
Can you dig that?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
You know, you're not supposed to treat your glove like that.
You're not supposed to smoke. Don't worry, they can still win it. It's never over until the final out. At least that's what you told me.
That's right. That's right. If you really believe deep in your heart, there's always hope, and you can make it happen.
Yeah.
ML?
What was the stadium like when you were a kid? Did it look the same?
Well, pretty much. Except for that dumb scoreboard and a few good seats they took away. I don't know. This place will be here forever.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.